Hello, good evening, SN viewers. This is Satellite Media. Let's look at the essence of the Fulani herdsmen and the way the current government of Senator Ahmed Bola Tinunu is handling it. We understand that the Global Terrorism Index sees Fulani as the fourth most dangerous terrorist organization in the world. And currently, the average Hausa man is at the receiving end of the SSs of the headers. And their SSs is not just restricted to the north as we used to know. Currently, they are hibernating in forests in the southwestern part of the country. Because only recently, the governor of Oyo State, raised alarm that the bandits who are being destroyed from the northwest are already hibernating in the southwestern forests. So it was not surprising when Amateku raised over 2,000 men to go and comb all the southwestern forests as a way of dislodging them. But currently, the government of Tinunu seems to be fighting bandits as never before. Even with all the credentials of the former president of Nigeria, talking about Buhari as a war veteran, he could not even confront the Fulani herdsmen. Perhaps because he was, he's a Fulani man. I think that was explain the reason he handled it with a key glove or with a lackadaisical attitude. But currently, I think the average Hausa man is celebrating because the current military seem to be decimating the headers like they have not seen before. Let me say this, that after the general election of 2023, I had a conversation with someone from Sokoto State, and in that conversation I asked him, who do you vote in your locality? He said he voted for Senator Ahmed Bola Tinunu. I was asking why. He said they have had enough of excesses of Fulani herdsmen in their locality. As such, they needed a change and they no longer want a Fulani man. And from what I heard from the man and from all the experience and revelation I gathered from the North, you agree with me that the North actually are in bondage of the Fulani people. And there's a situation where, even in some part of the North, they will tell you that bandits will come to a family and demand that a lady, perhaps if the lady is beautiful, should be handed over to them. And you can imagine what happens thereafter. It's all about molestation, raping, and all that. And if the family is not willing to do that, the only option left for them is either to relocate from that locality or hand over the girl. Even in far Delta states, we are seeing serious activities of these Fulani herdsmen, talking about even the local government of the immediate past governor of Delta State, talking about Ifeanyi Okowa. Even in Imunede recently, of course, that is still within the local government of Ifeanyi Okowa. The Fulani herders killed about 2 persons recently. So, and let me bring in this angle because I had a conversation with one of our in-house analysts who gave an in-depth understanding of what is happening currently, the way the Tinunu administration is addressing this issue, and let us get his own perspective before we come back to continue this conversation. If I may ask you this last question, because some have argued that the government of Tinunu has somehow tamed the Fulani, because currently, for the first time, somebody is questioning Mietala chairman and talking about Bodejo over allegation of banditry leveled against him. Remember that before now he was arrested as well when they accused him of forming a vigilante organization, arming them without the consent of federal government. If not for anything, for the first time, we are seeing a government that is questioning allegation against him. And currently, the government has secured a court judgment to keep him in custody for 2 months to enable them complete investigation. Don't you think this is a step in the right direction?
It's a step in the right direction, I must tell you the truth. But if you ask me the kind of person I am, Tinunu himself is not the person that will be asking somebody, taking somebody to court to get, the right investigation or judgment out of that person or send the person to correction center, because Tinunu himself is indicted. Currently is indicted. He's running a government of illegitimacy. Yes, in the past he's indicted in the faraway United States of America, allegedly. Anyway, let me put it there because he's the #1 citizen of Nigeria. So what happens to Bedijo is that they are all birds of same feather that flock together. The Fulanis have been violating, harassing Nigerians for many years. So they think they are above the law. That's why they stand out of Nigerian tribes and citizens as first-class citizens. First-class citizens that are living in the bush, dining and whining with snakes and scorpions, are proven to be unique people in this country called Nigeria. I'm looking at it at the other angle. If Tinubu like, he will get justice. He will question his own, legality for
Mr.
forming bandits
Okay.
and other, armed running groups. But Tinubu himself, is he clear? Is this government a government of legitimacy?
Before I let you go, let me bring this angle, Mr.
I don't believe in them.
I had an encounter with someone from Sokoto State after the election. I was asking him, who do people vote for in your locality in Sokoto? He said he voted for Tinubu. I said, why? He said they have had enough of Fulani. And currently, the government or federal government through the armed forces seem to be closing in on Tojibelu, who according to information have since surrendered almost, released almost all the hostages he had before now as a way of trying to stop the military onslaught. You look as if Tinubu have no tolerance for Fulani excesses.
I think I'm seeing all those news, but due to the kind of person that Tinubu is, I don't trust him. I don't believe all these stories. Togibelo we are talking about was the man celebrating Idel Malud the other day in his community.
Military vehicle.
Yes. He was, applauded by his community men. They even ended up, turbaning him. So that's why I see him as a government, or let me say politician, a political, mercenaries that are working for the elites in the north. And if you ask me, this current administration may have, taken him to be one of their talks in the past. So that's why I'm not trusting all these quotes. Tojibelo is doing this, surrendering, blah, blah, blah. No. I don't trust them. I don't trust Tinubu. I don't trust his way of politicking. I don't see him as somebody that has succeeded on bringing down the Fulanis or that does not tolerate Fulani excesses. I don't see Tinubu that. In the past, he actually came to tell us when he visited Kano, after giving them 50 million naira, that the Fulanis are their brothers and their sisters, so that they would actually vote for him. Indeed, you can see how everything went on in Kano State, Sokoto State, and so on and so forth. We are seeing a man that has not gotten anything right when you talk about political leadership, when you talk about a democratic setup system in a country like Nigeria. We've never received any single dividend of democracy since inception of this regime. I'm not the kind of person that will ever believe anything from Tinubu. I think actually you know that I can do that.
Let me say very thank you for your time. This is Sadla Media and I'm Mr. Matu.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Now, having listened to this analysis from our in-house analysts talking about the excesses of the headers, before now, their excesses was just restricted to the northern part of the country, but currently it is almost in every strata of the society. What we said on here happened in the southern part of the country is already happening, talking about kidnapping, raping, and all that. And one point is clear, that the average northerner is beginning to realize that the Fulani man is a challenge, is a menace. Don't forget that under the last administration of Governor Autumn of Benue State, we had a situation where there was an assassination attempt on his life. And shortly after that, a group that go by the Fulani Nationality Movement came to play responsibility. Up to today, it's not on record that the group or any person connected or linked to that attempted assassination is arrested or is under prosecution. So that is why we are saying that the security agencies should do more. Then again, talking about Fulani and their general body, like the leader of the Mietiala, talking about Bodejo, there are so many areas in the past where Nigerians question that Fulani live above the law, that nobody questioned the authority. But currently, we are seeing the government of Senator Amebola Tinubu arresting Bodejo. I think the first time he was arrested, he was accused of forming a vigilante group, arming them without the consent of federal government, and as such, he was accused of terrorism. He was tried to court. But at the point, I don't know how the Fulani manipulate their way, meander, and federal government through the office of the Attorney General of Federation withdrew the case. But currently, I have a situation where he has been accused again, and not just accused, he's in detention. Not just being in detention, the government have since secured an order of court of competent jurisdiction to keep him in custody for 2 months to enable the complete investigation. Nobody is saying anybody is guilty. Nobody is pronouncing guilty because nobody have right to pronounce anyone guilty. Of course, the law in Nigeria makes it clear that if you are accused You are innocent until proven otherwise by a court of competent jurisdiction. So to that extent, nobody is saying Bodejo is guilty of as accused. But I think for the first time in the history of Nigerian democracy, we are seeing a government that is questioning the allegation leveled against him. Because this time around, I think he's been alleged to be involved in banditry. And the military arrested him. The government is saying, let us investigate it. Of course, let us see how the investigation will pan out, and perhaps the court should take decision. Because however I look at it, for you to have a peaceful environment, the government of Nigeria, as a matter of necessity, must step up their action to possess monopoly of coercive power. I say this because if you look at the activity of the bandits in Zamfara State has been orchestrated by Toji Bello, who the other time we understand burned down a military vehicle. I think his SSC is still on the high side. I know the military claim that they have decimated it to a point, but I think the only time Nigerians can heave a sigh of relief is when they see a Toji Bello being arrested, being prosecuted, or being taken out, because Nigerians, particularly those in that axis in Zamfara State, can no longer sleep with their eyes closed because of the excesses of this one man. However I look at it, it behoves on government to protect lives and property, and Mr. President, talking about Senator Tinunu, have the responsibility to protect lives and property, because the Constitution bestows that responsibility on him, because he's the president and the commander of the armed forces. So he cannot do otherwise. He must protect Nigerians. Let me say a very big thank you. This is Lamida and Mr. Much.